Assalamu alaikum and hello, my dear friends, students, and YouTube viewers. It's my third and last video lecture on the poem Song of the Open Road. In my previous two videos, I have explained the central theme of the poem and I have also explained the beginning two stanzas of the poem. Now, in this video, I am going to explain remaining two stanzas of the poem. But before going ahead, I am repeating again the central theme of the poem. Students, all of you know that in this poem, Song of the Open Road, poet Walt Whitman represents a metaphorical journey of life. And main theme of this poem is importance of independence, importance of freedom, and joy of free life. And also positive attitude, importance of positive attitude if you want to live happy life. Now I am going to start third stanza of the poem, which is written on the blackboard. See the first line of the stanza: the earth that is sufficient. Very short and simple line. The earth that is sufficient. And this line is directly connected with the last line of the second stanza, in which the poet says that he is strong and contained. He doesn't need any more thing. Here again, he is repeating that the earth that is sufficient. It means that he is satisfied with those things which he has in life. He doesn't need things. He doesn't need more things. He is in the state of self-satisfaction. Now, the another meaning of this line is connected with the next line. So now we see the next line. I do not want the constellations any nearer. See this line. I do not want the constellations any nearer. In this line, there is a new word for you, constellations. But I think that you have heard this word or you have read this word in your science textbook. Literal meaning of the word constellations is group of stars. But in this line, it is used as a metaphor. All of you know that what is metaphor. I have explained the definition and concept of metaphor in my previous video. Now listen again. When indirect comparison is made between two things, it is called metaphor, जिसको हम उर्दू में कहते हैं इस्तेआरा. Here the word constellations means group of stars. This word is used as a metaphor for two different things. Number one, this word constellations or group of stars here used as a metaphor for name and fame, because we often use the word famous star for the famous personality. And in English, there is also a word luminary stars for the same thing. So here, the word constellation is used as a metaphor for fame and name and fame. जिसको हम कहेंगे मशहूर होना, शोहरत के लिए इस्तेमाल किया गया. I do not want the constellations any near. मतलब क्या है? The poet doesn't desire to live a life of a famous person. He wants to live a life of a simple person, a humble person. Now, connect these two lines. The earth that is sufficient. I do not want the constellation any near. मेरे लिए जमीन काफी है और मैं कॉन्स्टेलेशन में शामिल होना या सितारों में शामिल होना नहीं चाहता. Then the second, the word constellation is used as a metaphor for group of influential people, group of those people who lead other people or who guide other people. It means that in ancient time, students, all of you know that in ancient time, stars were considered as the guide during a journey. People used to know their directions with the help of stars. So here, constellations means group of influential people or group of those people who lead other people or who guide other people. So the poet is saying that he doesn't need any leader. He doesn't need any guide for his journey of life. What is the reason? He thinks that he is the guide of himself. He is the leader of himself. He is the maker of his own fortune and destiny. As he previously said that He has chosen a new way for his life. He has chosen a new goal for his life. Now he is saying that he doesn't need any leader, he doesn't need any guide. तो इसका मतलब यह है कि उसको किसी गाइड की, किसी लीडर की, किसी इन्फ्लुएंशियल पर्सन की जरूरत अपनी जिंदगी के लिए नहीं है. नाउ see the same line. I told you that this line is the example of metaphor. The word constellation is used as a metaphor for name and fame and for group of influential people. The same line has another example of another poetic device. There are two words, not and nearer, and both words begin with the same consonant letter N. And I previously explained that it is alliteration. So sometimes a single line has more than one poetic device. So not and nearer, these two words are the example of alliteration. Now see the next line. I know they are very well where they are. They means constellations. They means group of influential people, group of leaders, group of guide. The poet is saying that I know they are very well where they are. बहुत सिंपल बात है, क्योंकि वही कहता है कि मुझे किसी लीडर की गाइड की जरूरत जिंदगी के लिए नहीं है, और वो जहां है वही अच्छे हैं. Now see the line, and there are also two examples of poetry devices, well and where. Both words begin with the same consonant letter W, and it is the example of alliteration. And pay attention here, they are and they are. They are and they are. Whole word is repeated 2 times. So it is the example of repetition. Now see the next line. I know they suffice for those who belong to them. Suffice means it is the verb form of the adjective sufficient, काफी होना. ठीक है. I know they suffice for those who belong to them. इसमें वही बात उसने कही है कि जिन लोगों को लीडर्स की जरूरत है, वो जिनसे बिलोंग करते हैं, उन्हीं के लिए वो सफिशिएंट है, मुझे उनकी कोई जरूरत नहीं है. In short, we can say that in this stanza the poet show his very optimistic behavior. Now see the last stanza of the poem. Here you can easily see a difference between all earlier 3 stanzas and this stanza. This stanza is physically separated from earlier 3 stanzas by using brackets. So students, think in general, when we use brackets, we generally use brackets to write down meaning of any word, to give additional information, or to write down our opinion. Same things happen in the poetry. A poet may use brackets in a poem when the poet wants to give an afterthought, when the poet wants to give an opinion. Here, poet used this bracket, and these brackets in the literary language are called parenthesis. शायरी की जुबान में शेर के अंदर इस्तेमाल होने वाले इन ब्रैकेट्स को कहा जाता है पैरेंथेसिस, एंड दीज आर यूज्ड टू गिव आफ्टर थॉट और थिंकिंग प्रोसेस ऑफ द पोएट. यहाँ पर अपनी थिंकिंग प्रोसेस को बता रहा है, इसलिए उसने इसको सेपरेट किया है इस लास्ट stanza को. तो सो इट इज कॉल्ड पैरेंथेसिस. नाउ सी द फर्स्ट लाइन ऑफ द stanza. स्टिल अभी तक आई कैरी मतलब रखना, आई कैरी माई ओल्ड डिलिशियस बर्डन्स. डिलिशियस मीन्स have a pleasant taste or sweet, स्वादिष्ट, हम इसको बोलते हैं मजेदार, लजीज. burdens means बोझ, है ना. Now think again, a burden can be delicious. Can a burden be delicious? In reality, no, but in poetry, yes. Here a new poetic device is for you, and its name is paradox. Paradox. When I teach Urdu, I teach सनत तजाद. सनत तजाद मतलब ऐसी सनत, शायरी में इस्तेमाल होने वाली ऐसी सनत जिसमें अपोजिट वर्ड्स या कॉन्ट्रास्टिंग आइडियाज, अपोजिट ख्यालात का जिक्र किया था. बट इन इंग्लिश देयर आर 3 टाइप्स ऑफ तजाद in English poetry. Antithesis, paradox, and oxymoron. Oxymoron is not included in your syllabus. Now, I will teach you what is the difference between antithesis and paradox and what is the definition of paradox. First of all, understand antithesis. Anti means opposite and thesis means ideas. When two statements having opposite ideas or contrasting ideas, it is called antithesis. ये बिल्कुल सिंपल है. जब दो opposite ideas दो स्टेटमेंट में आए और दो contrasting ideas आए तो उसको हम antithesis कहते हैं. Now see the example. All down pass, leaving them in dark. See this verse, all down pass, leaving them in dark. This verse has two statements and there are two opposite words, down and dark. Down means morning or light of the morning and dark means darkness. तो यहाँ आप देखेंगे कि दो स्टेटमेंट है और दोनों एक दूसरे के कॉन्ट्रास्टिंग है. सो इट इज कॉल्ड एंटीथेसिस. नाउ व्हाट इज पैराडॉक्स? Paradox is a special type of antithesis. And the main difference between paradox and antithesis is that in antithesis there are two statements, whereas in the paradox there is only one statement. फर्क यह है कि एंटीथेसिस में दो अलग अलग स्टेटमेंट होते हैं और पैराडॉक्स में एक ही होता है. एंड दैट इज कॉल्ड सेल्फ कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी स्टेटमेंट which seems absurd or unnatural, having two opposite words or contrasting ideas. एंटीथेसिस की तरह इसमें भी दो अपोजिट वर्ड्स होते हैं एक साथ, लेकिन वो किसी एक ही चीज के लिए इस्तेमाल होते हैं और एक ही स्टेटमेंट में इस्तेमाल. सो पैराडॉक्स मींस व्हाट? पैराडॉक्स मींस सेल्फ कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी स्टेटमेंट which seems absurd or unnatural. एक अननेचुरल सा लगने वाला स्टेटमेंट होता है जिसमें दो अपोजिट वर्ड्स होते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल दिस लाइन, delicious burdens. A burden can never be delicious, but here it is used as the example of paradox. Now understand why does the poet use these words together? Delicious burdens. Here delicious burdens means sweet memories of past. The poet is saying that he has started new journey of life, but he has various past sweet memories. Then this word delicious burdens, here it is used for family responsibilities or social responsibilities. इसके लिए भी ये वर्ड यहाँ पर यूज किया है क्योंकि हम जानते हैं कि ये रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऐसी होती हैं फैमिली की और समाज की जिसको अदा करके इंसान को एक सुकून मिलता है. नाउ द थर्ड, delicious burdens here used for all types of problems. It means that the poet is saying that he is enjoying his problems. Generally problems threatens the people, but the poet is saying that he is enjoying his problems. It means that he has the courage to solve his problem. He has the courage to live a happy life. He has the courage to deal with any difficult situation. कि मैं अपने से सारे डिशेस बर्डन्स को अपने साथ में लेकर चल रहा हूँ. नाउ सी द नेक्स्ट लाइन, आई कैरी देम, मैन एंड वुमेन, आई कैरी देम विद मी वेयरएवर आई गो. वेयरएवर जहाँ कहीं, वही बात उसने रिपीट की है कि मैं जहाँ कहीं जाऊंगा, जहाँ कहीं जाता हूँ, जहाँ कहीं जाऊंगा, इन बर्डन्स को अपने साथ लेकर जाऊंगा. आई स्वेयर, स्वेयर मीन्स कसम खाना. आई स्वेयर इट इज इम्पॉसिबल फॉर मी टू गेट रिड ऑफ. टू गेट रिड ऑफ इट्स अ फ्रेज, और फ्रेज के लिए हम उर्दू में वर्ड यूज करते हैं मुहावरा. टू गेट रिड ऑफ इसका मतलब होता है किसी चीज से फरार इख्तियार करना. सो द पोएट इज सेइंग दैट आई स्वेयर इट इज इम्पॉसिबल फॉर मी टू गेट रिड ऑफ देम. मेरे लिए ये बिल्कुल भी मुमकिन नहीं है कि मैं अपनी जिम्मेदारियों से छुटकारा पा सकूं, और ये सही भी है. आई एम फील्ड विद देम एंड आई फील देम इन रिटर्न. इन द लास्ट लाइन द पोएट इज सेइंग दैट हिज लाइफ is full of various problems like a life of a common person, but he is enjoying his problems. He has the courage to solve his problem, and he has the courage to live a happy life. So now I am concluding the message of this poem is that in this poem, the poet gives us a message. The poet gives us a message that if we want to live a happy life, it is essential that we must develop positive attitude in ourselves. Thank you, all of you.